All right, here's standard 8B. You guys are going to be able to describe the unsuccessful revolutions on the continent and political reform in the United Kingdom. All right, essential understandings. The rise of nationalism was a powerful force behind European politics during the 19th century. Widespread demands for political rights led to revolutions and legislative actions in Europe. So, nationalism, the definition of nationalism is the belief that people's greatest loyalty should not be to the king or to an empire, but to a nation of people who share a common culture and history. I like to shorten up that definition by saying pride in one's country. So much easier to remember. All right, nation state. A nation state is a nation with its own independent government. So right now you're going to open up your textbook to page 688 and you're going to list the 6 bonds that create a nation state. Once you're done with that slide, you're still going to stay on page 688 and you're going to write out the 4 positive results of nationalism and then move on to the 4 negative results of nationalism. And again, it's all there on page 688. Nationalism has repeatedly changed the map of Europe and impacted world developments. The unification of Italy and Germany were nationalist movements. So let's go ahead and talk about that. We're going to jump right in here to standard 8C. You guys are going to be able to explain the events related to the unification of Italy and the role of Italian nationalists. So the unification of Italy. The first person you need to know is Count Cavour. Count is his title, like my title is Mrs. His is Count. Count Cavour is the one responsible for unifying or bringing together northern Italy. And Giuseppe Garibaldi is the one who is responsible for unifying southern Italy and then joining it with the north. The Papal States, which also include Rome, are going to become the last parts to join and unify with Italy. There are going to be problems facing the new nation. So there's going to be vast cultural and economic divisions that separate North and South Italy. South Italy is poor and agricultural, and the North, they are wealthier and they are more industrialized. They have to figure out how to forge a common identity, goal, and vision for Italy to make this unification successful. And lucky for them, they do. This is a successful unification. There still are issues today. North Italy is still wealthier and much more industrialized. And South Italy today, they are still a little bit more poorer and much more agricultural. All right, Mrs. Alice came up with this unification of Italy rap. And unfortunately for you, I am not going to rap it. But I am going to read it to you. It says, Count Cavour was the man, a great Italian. He controlled Sardinia, which was not a pity, because with it, he unified northern Italy. Next came Garibaldi. He got Sicily together, you see, and then moved on to southern Italy. But don't lose hope. Then came the Pope. And Italy was one, son. I know you liked it. All right, we're moving into standard 8D. 8D, you guys are going to be able to explain the events related to the unification of Germany and the role of Bismarck. So the unification of Germany. Otto von Bismarck, he is going to lead Prussia in the unification of Germany through war and by appealing to nationalist feelings. So Italy was able to be unified without war, without going to war. They did it peacefully. They got everybody to agree and sign on and join together. But Germany's going to be a bit more of a challenge. And Otto von Bismarck is going to lead a war that's going to unify this huge area into becoming one known as Germany. Bismarck's actions, they are seen as an example of realpolitik. And that just means that the justification to achieve and hold power is okay and can be done by any means and all means whatsoever, and this includes war. So another easy way to remember this, the ends justify the means. The end goal, which was unification, is justified by any way you need to achieve it, which also includes war. Can be peace, can be not. So like Italy, there are several independent Germanic states that are not going to be unified, and Germany is going to be the last great European power to achieve political unity. There were 39 independent Germanic states. Rivals, Prussia and Austria, were the largest and the most powerful. And many of the states did not get along. In fact, even today, there still is a bitterness between the Protestants and the Catholics within this Germanic Empire. 1861, the rise of Prussia. No, I'm not mistaken, Prussia. It is not Russia. Prussia, with a P, used to exist. It no longer does, and we'll talk about why. All right, so the king of Prussia is going to appoint Otto von Bismarck as his prime minister. Both the king and Otto von Bismarck want Prussia to use a strong government and an army to unify all the German states. So by using force and by going to war. They're going to embrace realpolitik and the right of a nation to pursue its own advantage by any means, including war. So again, realpolitik means the ends justify the means. Bismarck is going to go to war 3 times against Denmark, Austria, and France. And by 1871, he had successfully united 25 of those states, with Austria and Switzerland becoming independent nation states. And those countries are still independent today. So the effects of unification. Unified Germany faces the same struggles as Italy. How can you unify all of these people who have different ways of living their life? There's going to be religious differences, economic differences, social differences, political differences, and they are still going to remain today. But they encourage a common identity and a purpose, and that is what is going to bring the people together. All right, go ahead and open up your textbook to page 692. Please note that on your notes it is different, so you need to open to 692. And you are going to write down what type of nationalist movements took place in Germany and Italy. You're going to write that down right here. And then when you're done, you're going to define what unification means. And last but not least, The Unification of Germany rap by Mrs. Alice. Again, I'm not going to rap it for you. I'm just going to read it. It says, Bismarck was the key, you see, to the unification of Germany. With realpolitik, he was able to see how to make it one country. There were 39 states, with Austria and Prussia at the head of the race. By 1871, Germany was a new nation, and Bismarck took a vacation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Standard 8 is done. Woo! You guys now have a midterm to review for. Fair warning, the midterm review packet is quite long, but you will have 2 class periods to work on it. And it's going to cover everything we have done from pages 1 to 176. All right, so let's make sure you spend time working on it at home. And if you have any questions, you either send me an email or come see me. I am more than happy to help you out. Any stinger period, come after school, make an appointment with me to sit after school to get some work done. You don't even have to come see me. You can go see any World History 2 teacher, anybody you want. Just get help completing this review packet. Most of it you have already done in your previous review packets. So you can pull those bad boys out and use them to help fill out your midterm review packet. And as always, the review packet is worth a test grade, and it really will help you if you do it and you study it. It will help you get a good grade on your midterm test, which of course you are able to retake up to 2 times within that 2-week period. So I hope you guys have enjoyed Standard 8. We are getting ready to jump into Standard 9, and we are going to be done before you even know it. All right, kids, I will see you on the flip side.